The RWBY Anime. Man, let's talk about this briefly before we get into the actual news. RWBY Ice Queendom. Do you know, I talked about this a couple months ago, the announcement and the VA for Blake going after the writer Ubakata. And I gotta say, though, the reason I'm bringing this up is because the team behind the Japanese anime for RWBY is highly impressive. Like, they got a pretty all-star team. I think that saying all-star team would definitely apply to the JP team that they have on this. Unfortunately, that team is here for RWBY IP. And unfortunately, if you've been following RWBY for a while, particularly like the last 5 years or so, then you've seen when RWBY was popular and it was great and it was fun, and you've seen it just get dragged through the mud since then. It wasn't immediately dragged through the mud. I'm actually one of the people that enjoyed Volume 4, and that's generally a point of contention for people. A lot of people say after Volume 3, the show started to get bad. In my opinion, the show really started to get bad around like Volume 5. Although I did like the fight between Raven and Cinder. That was pretty sick. Furthermore, the company Rooster Teeth itself has done so many unlikable things that it's really left a sour taste, not just in my mouth. Such a weird saying, actually. However, also in the mouths of many people. I should have picked a different saying. That one's weird. Anyways, you get the point. A lot of people are not happy with RWBY anymore. The IP, they're sick of it. They want to move on. And I think that's totally justifiable. Not only, as I mentioned, has this thing been getting dragged through the mud for years, and Rooster Teeth has been making mistake after mistake. The fact is, there's just a lot of good intellectual property out there. If RWBY is going downhill and there's a lot of great stuff to enjoy, well, people are going to use their limited time and energy to enjoy the things that are actually enjoyable. Not that I'm saying the new RWBY anime might not be enjoyable. I'll give it a chance. I'll check it out. However, I know while I watch it, I'm going to be thinking, man, if only this team worked on something else and not like something RWBY related. It's so sad that this is what it's come to, man. I do feel bad for Monty and his baby. You know, it's his baby, man. It's sad what all happened. Anyways, enough of my rambling. Let's get to the main topic at hand. If you're still here, maybe you tuned out while I was rambling like that. If you are still here, though, please consider liking and subscribing, and as mentioned, to the main topic. So I got a tweet from Shaman saying, looks like Rooster Teeth has messed up spectacularly again, and linking me to the one and only Murder of Birds. If you're not familiar with him, he is one of the most prolific RWBY creators on the entire internet, in the entire universe. And he says this. However, before I show you this, let me give you the rest of the context, because there is actually a tweet he made before this one that you'll want to see. So here's where it all started. Rooster Teeth support says, "Hi there, RWBY Ice Queendom will be available later today." This is a response. This is not even a tweet that they made. It's not like it's not a standalone tweet. It's a response to someone who had a customer support, inquiry. And this was apparently the only announcement at the time that Rooster Teeth made about RWBY Ice Queendom. In other words, absolutely terrible marketing. Murder of Birds says, imagine if official RWBY tweeted this instead. You know, the account dedicated to RWBY on the day everyone is expecting the episodes to premiere early. Anyways, it'll be uploaded today, eventually. And after that, he made this set of tweets that we're going back to, where he says, I'm gonna keep it 100. You seriously have no idea how many community members talk in their friend groups about how fed up they've become with your lack of social media transparency and general direction. You really don't. At Rooster Teeth, at Official RWBY, at the Rooster Teeth store, at RTX Event, and at RT Contact. All right, I don't disagree with Arnold. I do think Rooster Teeth makes many mistakes, and this can be added onto the list. Terrible marketing for the day when they should be promoting this production. I digress. I've been talking about the problems with RWBY and Rooster Teeth, specifically Rooster Teeth. Most of my videos are actually criticizing the business practices of Rooster Teeth, not so much the show RWBY. And like I said, I've been criticizing Rooster Teeth for, well, a number of years. It started back in 2019. Interestingly enough, when I started criticizing Rooster Teeth, a number of RWBY content creators who used to act friendly towards me, or at the very least never had hostility towards me, suddenly had a whole bunch of smears coming out, a bunch of insults about me, saying I'm just a liar, I'm just a grifter, that I'm just lying about Rooster Teeth, that nobody should listen to me, things like that. Especially comedic when most of the reporting I was doing was on objective facts coming out about the company. And for the record, I wasn't the only one getting smeared and demonized for criticizing Rooster Teeth's poor business practices. No, there are also tens, if not hundreds of thousands of ex-RT fans who share similar sentiments to my own. And these circles would smear and demonize all of us for having the audacity to criticize the mega corporation that they hold so dearly close to their heart. Now, apparently, those same circles are saying it's okay to criticize Rooster Teeth. Or maybe it's only okay when they do it. Maybe that's the point they're trying to make. Back to Arnold, he would say, you tweeted 3 days ago about RWBY Ice Queendom premiering early today on the Rooster Teeth website, but gave no time frame for viewers to plan ahead. After having no RWBY content for almost 2 years, it's been on Crunchyroll for hours, and only now has it been posted, with still no tweet about it. Okay? Y'all offered virtual panel ticket purchases months ago, took attendees' money, decided to cancel the event, didn't tell anyone until a week before RTX, and even then it only came to light through a tweet reply. And there, I gotta stop and pause there and laugh again. Yeah, only came to light through a tweet reply. Oh my goodness. Okay, back to it. And there are people that still haven't gotten refunds. What the heck? 3 months ago, community members asked for guidelines on how content regarding RWBY Ice Queendom should be handled when it comes to reactions/reviews. We were told it would be asked, yet as of 2 days ago, you still don't have an answer, and the show is already in the wild. Cool. Back to Arnold, he would say, merch quality has been terrible, regardless of what the merch team commentary says. Your tweet gifs are cringe, but it seems like you enjoy farming lukewarm impressions. You never do polls to gauge community interest, even when the show is ongoing, and rip to red versus blue nowadays. And before anybody gets it twisted, this post is a conduit. This is how many community members feel, myself included. Will this change anything? Probably not. But I can guarantee you that there will be many a whisper next week and stuff like this. About stuff like this, excuse me. It always happens. And we've tried, fun fact, Calaxon and I had a meeting with RT after the contradicting communication we got trying to set up the Snowstorm fundraiser for RWBY during Volume 8. They said they were trying to do better and felt frustrated by our claims, but things have only gotten worse. I got some bonus comedy for you here. Check out the timestamps. So Arnold made that thread at 12:19 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on June 24th. And here we have RWBY, June 24th, Pacific Standard Time, 1:25 p.m. A little bit after Arnold called them out. And now they suddenly say from the official RWBY Twitter account, the first 3 episodes of RWBY Ice Queendom are available on Rooster Teeth first. Maybe it's coincidence. I'm leaning towards this tweet happening because Arnold called them out, though. Pretty funny. I mean, it really is shocking that that's what it took and they didn't have the idea, the very simple, basic idea that they might want to tweet about the new production. Like, shocking stuff. Okay, Rooster Teeth. The disrespect towards Monty, too, man. Monty's intellectual property finally gets an amazing anime adaptation. Again, I'm not too keen on the IP anymore. However, I do think they have an all-star team behind the production. This all happens in Rooster Teeth, radio silent on the day when this thing is supposed to premiere. I would assume that they would have been extremely happy to announce the premiere of RWBY Ice Queendom and that it wouldn't have taken a YouTuber tweeting to them to do that. Guess not, though. Wonderful job, Rooster Teeth. Bro, the VA for Blake Belladonna, Aaron, literally put in more effort, in my opinion, trying to cancel Ubakata, arguably therefore even potentially ruining RWBY Ice Queendom, than the entire Rooster Teeth team put promoting the show on its premiere day. How absurd is that? You know, though, it's extremely telling about the people that work at Rooster Teeth. It's very fitting, actually, that that's what occurred. For example, I just went to the Twitter accounts of the 4 voice actresses for the 4 main girls in RWBY, that being Ruby, Weiss, Blake, and Yang. And out of the 4, the only one who's really been just promoting RWBY and the production is Kara, the VA for Weiss. So full credit to her. That's awesome. The other 3 are mostly just talking about politics. Some of them aren't even talking about RWBY Ice Queendom at all, really. And like I said, they're mostly just talking about political things, excuse me. And again, I think that's highly disrespectful to Monty. I can't imagine that they're not happy for him that this thing has such a great team behind it and it's premiering now. You know, it started yesterday, was the premiere day. And look, some people may argue, well, they're allowed to talk about politics. Okay, hear me out, though. They're not known for being political commentators, are they? They're known for being voice actresses, specifically working at Rooster Teeth and specifically working on RWBY. People tune into them because they enjoy their work, not their political commentary. So sure, they're allowed to voice their opinion. I'm not saying they're not. However, I am saying it's a little bit disrespectful, in my opinion, to Monty, also to the fans, to be quite frank, and really anyone that's worked on RWBY and anyone that's a fan of RWBY, and even potential fans of RWBY, that they're not talking about this more, that they're not promoting it more. It just seems weird. Now, to be fair, though, the 4 main girls, I don't believe, have a contractual obligation to promote this thing. I'm just saying morally, I would imagine they would want to. Again, I'm going to sound like a broken record now. It's just weird to me that they're not showing more of a want to promote it, more excitement for it. aside from Kara. Again, credit to her. Anyways, you get the point on that one. Let's move on. So the backlash from RWBY YouTubers is not just isolated to Murder of Birds, aka Arnold, as he even mentioned in these inner circles, they're talking about this stuff. However, I will also reference a video that was released yesterday by the Judgmental Critter, where they say my collected thoughts on RT this morning. And the video is even titled RWBY Ice Queendom Rant. Rooster Teeth failed its community today. All right, let's start wrapping this up, because if we don't, we could actually be here all day. We could easily start talking about complaints people also have with RTX and how that's been handled, and complaints people have with RWBY Volume 9 as a whole, and the lack of information and how that's all been handled as well. I don't want to be here all day talking about RWBY, though, to be quite frank. I don't know if you do either. Let me know what you think in the comments. There's got to be something else we can do, right? Let's go play some video games or watch some anime or something. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great Saturday. I'll see you in the comments and tomorrow for the next segment.